Well, let's take a look at news from Uganda. And the Ugandan finance minister on Thursday presented the country's budget statement for the financial year 2024-2025, an annual ceremony that was graced by President Yoweri Museveni. Matia Kasaija read the 72 trillion Ugandan shillings, with security and transport infrastructure sectors getting the lion's share. Here's that story by David Muthoka.
Thursday, the 13th of June 2024, was a day set aside for East African finance ministers to read budget statements for the financial year 2024-2025 for their respective countries. This coming against a backdrop of a fragile operating environment fueled by rising public debts, high fuel prices, and falling household and business incomes. The men and women in charge of the National Treasury in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda all used the day to outline the budgetary allocations for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. In Uganda, Finance Minister Matia Kasaija, armed with the iconic brown briefcase containing the budget speech, rose to the podium to deliver the address at Kololo Independence Grounds with bustling optimism, a ceremony attended by President Yoweri Museveni. Kasaija read a 72 trillion Ugandan shillings budget, which translates to 2.48 trillion in Kenyan shillings. According to Kasaija, Uganda's economy is resilient enough to shoulder the 72 trillion shillings budget. Kasaija pegs the feasibility of the 2024-2025 budget on the positive outlook in the country's economic growth amidst criticism from economists. The Ugandan taxman, URA, has been taxed with the collection of 29.366 trillion shillings to finance the budget, which is already seated on a 1.9 trillion shortfall. While experts cast a shadow of doubt on the ability to raise this money, the government is determined and planning to spend 9.588 trillion shillings on security and governance, 4.989 trillion shillings on transport infrastructure, 2.946 trillion shillings on the health sector, 2.497 trillion shillings on education, another 1.879 trillion shillings on agriculture, 982 billion shillings on energy development, 481.4 billion shillings on administration of justice, and 289.6 billion shillings on tourism. The Treasury also hopes that the country raises more revenues as the total debt is peeping into 100 trillion shillings. Oil revenues that have not started flowing are the much-needed shot in the arm to what some have termed as a bloated budget, and economists argue that the budget has been largely influenced by politics rather than economics.
Well, you are watching News Desk. We take a very short breather, but there's still more to come after this break.